Hello everyone, this is John and welcome to one of my series on how to play golf aggressively and how to look to win competitions at our level with only one round. Now, a lot of people have been asking me to do different sort of things. Have been asking me. I've obviously tried to do the driving one on TikTok and everything, and everyone's tries to a lot of things now. With these high handicappers, they come back to me and they say, how can I reduce my handicap? Now, they all talk about hitting bombs, they all talk about shot shaping, they all talk about having the ability to do different things with the long game. The basic fundamentals all comes down to your short game. One of the big things that I see with people is the putting and the chipping. They can hit balls a long way. I've seen 25 handicappers that can hit the ball 300 yards, but they can't chip and putt. And they can chip and putt, but they don't know how to do it aggressively. And this is how they are not lowering the handicap, and this is how they are not able to win competitions, because they've been taught a certain technique. Now, the old system of what I was taught was young was same speed for the same chip, doing that. Longer swing, just going very casually, very lazily, and that's okay. You can chip like that, but to be successful, you can't. You've got to chip aggressively. I've learned a lot of chipping, putting off Gary Player. Phil Mickeslon's the big one. Lee Trevino, Gary Player, obviously. Padridge Harrington, I've learned quite a bit off him. These guys play hardened, relentless golf. They are not interested in playing it safe, but they are trying to win competitions, and they have developed, especially Phil. Phil's technique, the 101 technique, is the most aggressive and consistent chipping technique. So basically, I'm going to teach you how to do this first, then we're going to get onto the complexities later. But what I want you to learn is the basic 101 chipping technique. Now, the first thing with wedges is it's totally different to an iron. Okay, totally different to an iron. With an iron, we don't have as much of a blade. With a wedge, we've got a blade. Now, the blade is so important. Now, people in the old days used to be wristy and do this. For chipping, that is the kiss of death. It's okay for whacking a ball like that and wanting speed, but for chipping, that's a kiss of death. Now, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's normal ball striking or chipping, all crap ball strikers, you will see them have the hands in a position like that, even straight or like that. You will never see a good chipper like that. You'll never see it. All good chippers start with the hands forward. The club is going back the way to the back foot. All good chippers start with the hands forward. All good chippers start like that, and cocking the wrist and never break the wrists. All good chippers do that. So that's your basic starting point. The second point I want to make is, because of the blade, if you're chipping like this, all you're going to do is bring the blade into it. The blade's going to come into it, and it's going to you're just going to skim it. So your weight has to be on the front foot. It's got to be on the front foot. 70-30 on the front foot. You can even practice with one arm with your foot like that. So this is a drill to keeping your weight on the front foot and chipping like that. Okay. You can't do it for too long. I can't do it for too long. I only can do about 3 or 4 shots before I have to put the other foot down. But that's how you learn to put the weight on the front foot. Now, with chipping, a lot of amateurs, they have the ball. They think for chipping, just like a normal shot, they've got to have the ball there, straight in the middle of the stance. That's no man's land with chipping. You've got to make a decision. You've got to make a decision if you want to go high, if you want to go low. What we want in chipping, so that's the first thing. Second thing, as I've said, you want your weight on your front foot. Third thing is, we want, how do I explain this? We don't want hand speed, we want club speed. Now, what do I mean by that? What we want is aggressive contact. We want the club, We want to be quick with the club, but we don't want our hands doing that, right? The last thing we want is hand speed. We do not want the club doing this. Okay, we do not want our wrists doing this. That's the kiss of death with chipping. It's the same with any shot. If you start doing this, flicking the wrist, the ball will go off left, off right. You'll be topping it. You'll be splicing it. We have got to keep everything straight in line with the target. Okay, so we want hand speed. We want club speed, not hand speed. So after all that, the basic fundamentals: weight on the front foot, hand speed, club speed, not hand speed, everything going straight to the target as such. So you can chip like that. What we've then got to do is make a decision: are we going to go high or low? Now, if we're going to go high, the ball is going to go to the front of the stance. If we want to go low, a lower chip, the ball goes to the back of the stance. Very, very simple. That's the chipping 101 technique. So let's say, for example, we want to go for, I've got plenty of green down there. The 101 technique, I'll go to the back of the stance, weight on the front foot. That's rubbish. That's your low shot, okay? Show you again, back of the stance. I put it in a bare patch, that was the problem with that one. Back of the stance, club speed, not hand speed. That's a low trajectory, it runs down there nicely. Now, if you want the ball to land more softly, and we wanted to land a little bit softer, again, make sure I'm not in a ball patch, we simply go to the front of the stance now, and slightly open the face. Like that. The ball will come out softer, it'll come out higher, and it'll check up quicker. And that's all it is. That's all the 101 technique is. But every time it is aggressive contact. We are not going at one speed. We are not flicking the wrists, because if you flick the wrists, that's what's going to happen. The ball's just going to scuttle along. With this, you will fat it. You've seen me fat that one there, and the first one in the ball patch. You will fat it. We will come back to the complexities later on about how you avoid that. So I shouldn't really have put it in a ball patch. But once again, I'll show you very simple. Back of the stance. The Phil calls it the back foot restore. I just say back of the stance. It'll come out lower. There we go. Or if you want us to go up higher, front of the stance, same technique, weight forward, the ball comes up higher, it comes out softer, and it'll check up quicker. And that's the basic chipping motion. We do not want anything falling back. We do not want the hands flicking. That's the kiss of death. We don't want any of this. We want to be, everything wants to be on the front foot, 70-30. We want club head speed, not hand speed. So we want to be doing that, and we want aggressive contact. It's no good playing a chip shot and just going, it's not going to go anywhere. We need aggressive, firm contact like that every time. Aggressive, firm contact. And that's it. That's basic chipping 101. Couldn't be much simpler. The complexities will come later on, but if you work on that, if you keep working on that, eventually you can fat it with that technique, but you will never ever blade it. Okay, you'll never blade it with that putter. One more time, I know none of you are dummies, but just one more time, back of the stance, for making the decision. First of all, we want them to weight forward 70-30. Here's your basic key points. Weight 70-30 all the time to the front foot. We want club head speed, not hand speed, okay? We want to be cocking the wrists and keeping the wrists whole. That's basically what it is. Just keeping the wrists cocked, but do not flick them. Keep them cocked all the way through your shot. Everything following in line with the target. And the last thing is making the decision. We do not want the ball in the middle of the stance. That's a kiss of death again. That's no man's land. We want to be making a decision. Do we want the ball to go high, front of the stance? Do we want the ball to go low, back of the stance? And that's all there is to it. That's chipping 101. Like I say, there's a guy called Phil Mickeslon who explains it a lot better than me and can do it a lot better than me, but that is the basics of 101 chipping. Hopefully that helps. We will be going now onto the complexities next. Right, the complexities aren't actually that complicated. all we're doing now, you're going to say, oh, that's all great, John, and everything. What happens, and I've just explained it before, what happens if there's in a position where I've got to get the ball really high over a bunker? What have I got to do if I'm in a ball patch? Okay, so let's just say, for example, there's a bunker in our way here, okay, and we've got to get the ball with height. Very simple, very simple. We still do the 101 technique, but we're opening the stance and opening the grip, and that's it. That's all we're doing. It's very basic. So let's say there's a bunker in front of us between me and that flag there. All I'm doing, and you have to work with this with yourself, by the way, just opening the stance and opening the grip. So all I'm doing here, opening my stance, opening my grip, still aggressive contact with weight on the front foot. For obviously, because we want the ball to go high, it's on the front foot. So we open the grip, opening the stance, weight on the front foot. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Very, very simple. And you just work with it with yourself. So if you want the ball to go even higher, you just open the stance, open the grip even more. And when we are playing these shots, you will never see a good wedge player like that. All good wedge players finish with the hands high. Okay, and it's the same with chipping. Do not break the wrists. So I'll show you again. And you just experiment. So again, if I just do my normal hinge and hold, if you want to go higher, if there's a bunker in the way, we'll do it a little bit more, open it just a little bit more. Goes a bit higher. You wanted to go even more again. Open the face, open the stance. There we go. Dead simple. That's how you get over a bunker. Now, the next one you're going to say is, that's great, getting over a bunker. Now then, what happens if we get into a ball patch? Now, there's a number of different ways you can do this. Most people either go for an 8 iron, or they go for an 8 iron. There is another technique, an 8 iron. They normally go for an 8 iron. I've got a chip master. Now, an 8 iron, let's say, for example, let's say, especially in winter, this is a big problem in winter. Let's just say you end up in a ball patch. We'll try and find a ball patch for you. Here we go here. That's got no grass, nothing underneath it. You can't be aggressive with it. You can't compress onto the ball because there's no grass. All it's going to do is that the blade of the wedge is going to dig into the turf. So you can't do that. It's just going to dig into the soil. You can't try and skim it off the surface at our level, because we're not consistent enough to do that. We're going to end up blading it. It's going to end up running 20 yards past the green. That's inconsistent. So a lot of people, what they do, they get an 8 iron. Now, I'm not a great exponent of this because I don't really do this. They get an 8 iron, they use it as a putter, and they just run it down like that towards the target. I've actually done all right there. That's what they do. They just and that's a very effective and easy way of doing it, to be honest. But it's not aggressive, and it's not really. That's what I mean. I'm not the best. I've run that straight on because I don't really use this. The technique, I've got a chip master, obviously, for really bad when you're in divots. You can't really do that in divots. But if you get a lie like this, and you've got no grass to work with, there is a technique. It's called the toe down chip. The toe down chip is very similar to using an 8 iron, only using a wedge, and this time we aren't hitting it like a wedge shot at all. We're not chipping it like the 101 technique. What we're doing is, again, using it like a putter, but what we're trying to do here is we're raising the heel just a little bit on the club, so that it's absolutely dead straight, and we're trying to hit it, not in the center, the outside left center of the club, to try and come out a bit softer. So what do I mean by it? basically, I'll show you what I mean. We again, it's the same principle: low or high. If we want to go low, we put it at the back of the stance. We then put the club as if we normally would at a normal address, and then we're lifting it up very slightly like this. So it's basically like a putting stroke. It's very much like a putting stroke, and then from there it's like that. Now I'm going to focus on the distance control there now, because I didn't focus on the distance there now. But this is, if you're in a bare, oh, that's terrible actually. don't copy that. I was in a bare lie. There we go. That's how you do it. Now this gets you out of a divot. It'll get you out of a bare patch. It'll get you out of most situations, to be honest, where there's no grass. Unlike, well, I've got my 50 degree, but if you try and do that here with a normal 101 technique, all what's going to happen is that it's just gonna stop on you, or you're going to do the cardinal sin of, you're just going to go, right, I'm going to try and do the work myself, try and skim it, and you just end up skimming it like that. That's how you get out of that technique. There's obviously a chip master, but a lot of people don't like chip masters. That's the way you get out of that situation. And that's basically all you need to know around greens. That's it. That's how you have different ways to chip. You can chip aggressively, you can chip with intent with it. So you've got the techniques now of the basic chipping 101 to be aggressive. You know how to hit the ball high now, you know how to hit the ball low now around the greens. And also, if you get into a bare lie now, you know exactly what to do. You use the toe down chip, or you can chip with your 8-iron. Dead simple, dead simple. It's the easiest and simple way to chip the 101 technique, the toe down chip, or using the 8-iron. A lot of PGA professionals try to make it hard and complicated. You've got to do this, and that. Or you can do it Phil, Gary's way, and Lee Trevino's way, which is the simple way. Choice is yours. Down to putting now. What I'll do, folks, is I'll do the chipping by itself. I'll do the chipping by itself, the putting by itself. Hopefully that's helped you with your chipping around the greens. I will be doing a video again on the hinge and hold method, how to, from 30 to 80 yards, about wedge shots. Very much like the 101 technique, very, very simple way of doing it. I'll try and do it like Phil does, the shot shaping. And obviously I'll try and show you how to, with the front leg push, how to hit long nasty bombs if I can do it. Thanks very much. Keep subscribing if you've liked what you've seen of this. Like I say, I'm not giving you any complicated techniques and everything. All I'm doing is trying to teach you how to play the most simple and most aggressive style of play you can to try and win competitions. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not good enough to give you any advanced techniques or anything like that. I have faults myself. You obviously have faults. Everyone's got faults at our level, and we shouldn't be going around saying, oh, he's all the complicated fancy techniques. But we can give you theories. I can give you basic techniques like this that can help win the competition. That's it. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.